Hi, and welcome back to 3 and Out with Chris Spielman, brought to you by Comerica. I'm Mike O'Hara. And Chris Spielman, we're coming off the bye and looking forward to the last 12 games of the season, starting next Monday night in Green Bay against the Packers. How do you think the Lions are sitting right now with 2 wins, 1 loss, 1 tie? It's a tough division. That has them in third place.
Yeah, but I think they're doing well, Mike. And you look at it, the one game they do regret, I believe, is the opening game, Arizona Cardinals, when they had them on the ropes and ended up with a tie where they probably should have walked out of there with a win. But the counter to that is in Philadelphia, remember, Arcega-Whiteside dropped a game-winning touchdown pass, and the Lions kind of got lucky in that situation and got a road win. So things tend to balance out. The roster's built well. I think Kerryon Johnson, despite the fumbles coming off of his best game, the line has been staying healthy, and you have a quarterback that's playing at a high level. So all the things that the Lions are trying to do, I think they're right where they should be. And I don't think if you put them under hot lights, I don't think they'd be disappointed in the first 4 games with a 2-1-1 start.
Before we move along here and have a couple of highlights and have you break down some things and talk about how this team has been put together. First of all, I got to congratulate you on making the Detroit Lions all-time team. It's the 100th anniversary, and you were there with 2 other great linebackers, Mike Lucci from the 70s, and then to me the greatest Lion of all time because of his coaching and his playing, Joe Schmidt. Congratulations, and tell me how it feels to be in that company with an awful lot of your teammates who are on that very same team.
So when I hear 100th and I hear all time, it makes me feel old. But
well, you're only halfway there.
Imagine how you feel, right? That's.
I can't hear you.
No, I think it's. I mean, come on, it's humbling, And when you look at it, and I always say this about football players, any individual award is a direct reflection of the players around you. And I was fortunate enough to have great players around me, whether it was Dennis Gibson or Mike Johnson or guys that played beside me. I was very lucky to have good players beside me and in front of me. Mark Spindler, Danny Owens, Jerry Ball, the list goes on and on. Lawrence Pete. I had great guys in front of me. And so they allowed me to do my job, and I'm just humbled by that. I think it's really cool, and I can't wait to start going after we get done here to go tell people.
Well, Chris Spielman, the Detroit Lions have played all 60 minutes and sometimes a little bit more when they had to. But let's go back here to a play against the Chargers. They're driving for what might be the game-winning touchdown. Darius Slay, the cornerback, gets an interception right at the goal line or in the end zone. Just tell us, what sort of play does this make as a representation of how the Detroit Lions have played the first 4 games?
Well, this is a representation of being mentally tough. Darius Slay had a rough game against Keenan Allen, right? But this is where you play 60 minutes, as you said, Mike, and look at him play the route. He knew the route was coming. He played the route beautifully because he had his safety coming over the top, and he was able to anticipate Keenan Allen running that corner route. I think Phillip Rivers tried to force it to him. But Darius Slay, the one thing about it, as a corner in this league, you better have a short-term memory. And I like it the boxing out of Keenan Allen and the ball skills to go up and catch the ball. So that's representative of being mentally tough and being in every game. And no matter if you're getting beat all game, you still can impact the game.
Now let's go ahead. There's another game here. We talk about special teams being a third of the game. Sometimes they're more than that with a big play, sometimes less with a big breakdown. But against the Eagles, they were more early in the game with this 100-yard kickoff return by Jamal Agnew. When you also played some special teams in addition to linebacker, what is the mindset out there?
Well, this is where big plays can happen, and I played with a great kick returner, and this looks like that great kick returner in Mel Gray. And Mel Gray was just tremendous, and we knew that anytime he had a chance to get the ball in his hands, he could go the distance. But this play kind of epitomizes a lot of things. First of all, Jamal Agnew was benched in returning the week prior, if I'm not mistaken, correct, against the Chargers because he dropped a couple punts. Well, this just goes to show that Matt Patricia understands, because the guy made a few mistakes, but how explosive he is, that he believed in Jamal Agnew, and Jamal Agnew pays that off. The other thing about this play too, Mike, is that the Lions special teams have been inconsistent at best. They've had some bad plays. Well, this is a good play that can make a game-changing difference. And when you get knockout blocks like you do, by number 30 right there, it gives a chance the guy to get off to the races. So great play. Hopefully we'll see many more of these if you're a Lions fan.
Later in that same game, the game-winning, I guess, or maybe the game-clinching touchdown pass to Marvin Jones Jr., a 12-yard throw from Matthew Stafford. One thing about him, it's always been part of his makeup as a quarterback. You get open, he'll throw it to you. He doesn't care if you're a rookie, 10-year veteran, rookie tight end, you get the ball. What is, in your mind, has made Stafford so exceptional in his career?
Well, the thing that I like is that he's never had to be in balance or on feet married to the target. Right there, he had a great pocket, and he was able to lay it out there for Marvin Jones Jr. But the thing that I think most people respect about Matthew Stafford, I know it's one of the things that I respect the most, is his toughness. He's going to play if he can play. He'll play with pain. He'll do what he has to do. And what that does is earn the respect of all the players around you. And the thing about the Lions and the players in this offense, and I don't know if all the fans believe in Matthew Stafford, but I can tell you what, that locker room and that coaching staff believes in Matthew Stafford.
And finally, Chris, coming off the bye, got a tough game, tough opener for the last 12 games of the season at Green Bay on Monday night. Lions have beaten them the last 4 times for the Detroit Lions. How do you feel coming out of the bye, and what was the benefit of the bye for this team?
Well, we'll see what the benefit is. And I think rest, right? If Stafford's hurting, you want to get him healed up. You want to get Diggs back. You want to obviously get Darius Slay back. You're always going to be challenged when you play Aaron Rodgers. A couple weeks ago, threw for 422 yards. They still lose the game. Aaron Jones is a pretty good running back, and they'll present a challenge. But it's a great opportunity to go on the road and get a divisional win.
All right, Chris Spielman, that's a wrap for this week. We'll say bye to the bye week, and we'll be back after the Packers-Lions game on Monday Night Football.
Thank you.